Captain of our fairy band, Helena is here at hand, and the youth mistook by me, pleading for a lover's fee. Shall we their fond pageant see? Lord, what fools these mortals be. Hey y'all, welcome back to Dots and Beyond. My name is Beth, and today we are celebrating the Shakespeare Festival in my August setup. And I'm not just celebrating one specific Shakespeare festival because it is my birthday month and I can do what I want, and we are going to highlight several. Now, as you can see off to my left, we are going to be using some washi and some stickers. We'll get into that a little bit more later, but I thought I would do one sort of big, grand piece that I actually sketched, and that is a copy of the Globe Theater that then opens up. And I have already glued down the left side of this page, but we need to go ahead and get this right side glued down. And I'm just going to use this Tombow tape runner to get that done super quickly. Once I get that right side glued down, we will have an area that opens up in the center, almost like doors. I did have some sort of grand plan to sketch out the inside of Shakespeare's theater once you open those doors, but eventually I decided that was a little too ambitious and I really wasn't ready to go there, so we are just going to do the outside. Now again, I do have some stickers off to the side. These are pretty general, but then I will get into specific plays like these that I have clipped together as we go forward, highlighting a different play from a different Shakespeare festival around the globe this year. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this sketch took me a little while. Perspective is not my forte, but I do like the way that it eventually turned out. So we are gonna start sketching in the front of the Globe Theater. And of course, this is a rebuilt Globe Theater that was opened in London in 1997. The original theater was built in 1599. It burned down once in 1613, was rebuilt in 1614, and then it was demolished in 1644 before being rebuilt in modern day London. Now, if you remember correctly, for my birthday month last year, I did a Jane Austen Pride and Prejudice theme. I do have a degree in English literature, and it's sort of looking like I am going to default to those roots for my birthday month, at least for a while. We'll see what happens next year. While I am coloring this right side of the Globe Theater in its Tudor style with its white walls and dark wood beams, let's talk a little bit about making stickers. So I actually use Canva to create any of the stickers that I use in my bullet journal. Somebody recently asked me if I create my own. The answer to that is both yes and no. Right now, I do not have access to an iPad or Procreate, and those are the things that I think I would need to design my own stickers, and so Canva is what is filling in for me right now. Two disclaimers before we jump over to my Canva screen. One, this video is in no way sponsored by Canva. It's just a tool that I like to use. And two, I do use Canva Pro because I do use it for a lot of other things. So here is my Canva screen. This is a template that was literally just 8.5 by 11 like regular printer paper. Here I'm showing you how you can search for heart, and how this red heart right here is the one that I used over here for this heart and dagger for Romeo and Juliet. And then I searched for dagger and picked this one right here in the middle. And I'm going to show you how you can just drag it around, change the color, rotate it, do whatever you need to do with it. And that's how I came up with this color palette of red, black, and white Shakespeare imagery. I'm not going to go into what all of the images for every single play mean. I know what they are. I'm fairly well versed in Shakespeare, but that is how I created the stickers that I will be using throughout the setup. Returning to the facade of our Globe Theater, I did consider using the trick to mask off my straight lines in order to make my black beams super straight, and just decided I didn't have the time for that, and so I did freehand filling in all of those. I'm also freehand filling in this roof, just doing one line at a time. They are overlapping, but then trying to keep them as close as possible. And there is part of the front of my cover page for August. I did add in a couple of stickers for the globe as well as an August title, and here we're gonna add some more stickers just to sort of fill out the front page. While I did design these stickers, I didn't necessarily think about exactly where they were going to go or design them around where they were going to be positioned. So there's going to be a lot of decision making process go along through this setup as to where the stickers go. And here we are going to work on the inside of our Globe Theater. This is going to be my calendar spread and my goals and my list of monthly to-dos. What you will find throughout the setup is that it is very line and circle heavy. I'm using the ruler a lot. I use my circle template a lot. Otherwise, I let the stickers do most of the work. And some of the pages aren't perfect because the stickers were a little too big or I had too many of them, but eventually I do like the way that it turns out in the end. For the rest of 2020, I am trying to designate a no spend week as well as a no social media week. And so I am putting those in here and noting which one of those weeks is which. Now for July, my no spend week is starting this week where this video is about to go up. But my no social media week, I didn't do so hot. I need to do better. So we'll see how that turns out in August, as if I can cut off the social media for that particular week. Otherwise, I have spot for important dates on the left, projects and goals in the middle, and my to-do list on the right. And again, for these two opening spreads, the stickers I designed are very generic. Again, the front of the globe, a quill and ink, some parchment, Shakespeare's signature, and then a Shakespeare head himself. And that is my cover page for August as well as my calendar. This next spread is going to be a page of trackers, and as this comes together with the habit tracker in a circle on the right and the sleep tracker and mood tracker on the left, it may start to look familiar to those of you who regularly follow bullet journal content. This is a layout that is the go-to for Alexandra of @AddoPages on Instagram. I will definitely link her work down below, so go check her out. Her spreads are impeccable. But I just thought I kind of loved this spread and I was going to give it a try for August. Now I have this compass that's meant to hold a pin in it, but it is very, very loose, and I have one level of my circle that I couldn't make with my circle template, and I'm attempting to see if I can get this thing to hold its position all the way around, and it's really not working for me. So I do decide to abandon it and put in my straight lines first, and then just add the circle for that outer line by hand, which involves a lot of turning of the journal, but that's what we're going to do to get that last circle line onto the spread. And then I'm going to color in this one level with a dark gray, and this is where I'm going to number 1 through 31 for the month of August. The black outline around the edge is really just for aesthetics and to have that pop of contrast. I do put a small white line in between each of the weeks just to indicate that there is a week separation there, but I'm not even going to write in the week numbers. I'm just going to leave them as is. For August, I'm going to be tracking journaling every day, no soda, no fast food, meditating, and stretching. And then I don't know if it shows up on camera very well, but I did choose to add a thin line next to some of my thicker lines on that particular spread. I liked the way that it looked, so I came back to add those to my calendar spread as well. And here is our first play, which is The Tempest. This year, The Tempest is being performed at the Utah Shakespeare Festival, which takes place in Cedar City, Utah, and that festival takes place between the months of June and October. For the trackers on the left, for my sleep, energy, stress, and mood, I have designed stickers for Richard III. Richard III is being performed at the Stratford Festival, and no, that is not the Stratford upon Avon Festival. This one takes place in Stratford, Ontario, Canada, and runs between the months of April and October. And as a finishing touch, I decided I needed to anchor the left side of the left page with a couple of lines as well, one thicker with a 0.5 micron and one thinner with a 0.02. And that will wrap up my tracker page for August 2022. This next spread is one that I am moving off of my weekly spreads from July and into a monthly spread for August. And it is my goal to take a Skillshare class every month, and so I want to leave space for me to take notes on that class, as well as to watch a TED Talk every week, and so I've also left space for me to take notes on that TED Talk. Now, I wasn't quite sure how the spacing was going to work, so I decided that I would put the stickers down on the page first and then come in with the line work. So as you can see, my play for my TikTok page is As You Like It. And As You Like It this year is being performed at Shakespeare in the Park, which is New York's infamous Shakespeare Festival, and it runs from June through September each year. Once the stickers are in place, I'm simply going to outline 4 boxes where I can take notes on the TED Talk, and on the outer side of each box I left space for me to write the name of the TED Talk or the person giving the TED Talk so I can reference back to it later. Originally I wasn't going to put a title on this page, but I had this little spot right next or right above the As You Like It, and so I simply wrote in TED Talks there. On the left side for me to take class notes is my favorite of the Shakespeare comedies, and that is Much Ado About Nothing. It is absolutely sublime. Much Ado About Nothing is being performed at the Lake Tahoe Shakespeare Festival this year, so we're going back to Utah, just a different area of the state, and the Utah Shakespeare Festival typically takes place June to October annually. And that will wrap up this very simple note-taking spread. We are going to move on to another very simple spread that I just need to decorate with some stickers because I have a list on both sides. So on the left side is going to be my smile file or gratitude log, and on the right is going to be my physical challenge. I have been doing a challenge for each month from July to December, like a sit-ups challenge or that sort of a thing, and I can just write in what that daily challenge is going to be here on the right. So as you see, 2 very simple lists that we can now decorate. For the play on the left side of the page, the smile file, I chose Hamlet because Hamlet is the play that made me first fall in love with Shakespeare. And Hamlet is being performed this year, aptly enough, at the Shakespeare Festival at Hamlet's Castle in Denmark, and that is taking place between July and August. On the right will be our star-crossed lovers, Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet is being performed at the Hawaii Shakespeare Festival in Honolulu, and that is taking place this August. And that will wrap up my monthly collections for August, and it's time to move on and set up the first week. Like the calendar page, this weekly setup is going to be very, very line work heavy, just with rulers and ink. I am setting up my weeklies very similar from one week to the next, just sort of moving the elements around, or essentially just flip-flopping the left spread to the right spread and the right spread to the left spread. So here I am sketching out all of those elements, and then I am going to color in some black headers. I'm going to color in those black headers with a brush pen that is a Pigma Micron brush pen, and the reason that I'm using this is because it is archival ink, and I can come back over it with just a regular white gel pen, and that black is not going to bleed through the gel pen. And what I will have here on the page is my mini calendar, 3 trackers for moving, morning meds and afternoon meds, a spot on the left for 1 word. I want to study 1 word a week. I have an affirmation that I'm putting in every week, as well as my gratitude log. And then on the right, I have tasks, meal planning, and a spot each day for events. And the play that I chose for week 32 is Taming of the Shrew. Taming of the Shrew is being performed at the Texas Shakespeare Festival this year, which takes place in Kilgore, Texas. And that festival runs from June to July. So it's almost over for this year, but it still counts. You'll have to wait and see which plays I chose for weeks 33 through 35 in the final flip through, but for now, let's flip over and do the monthly wrap up. Now this next spread is another one I thought I better get the stickers on the page first and then draw in the rest of the line work. But on the left side of the page, I want to do sort of a birthday spread, a me at this age sort of thing. And on the right, I will do a small monthly wrap up. So as you can see, the play for the left side of the page is A Midsummer Night's Dream. Now, Shakespeare festivals typically take place during the summer, and we don't all celebrate summer at the same time. So, Midsummer Night's Dream is being performed at the Shakespeare in the Garden in Kirrville, New South Wales in Australia. That will run from November to December for the Australian summer. And I just left a big blank page for me at 48, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to fill that in. And then of course, the last one I'm putting on the page is for my monthly review, and this is Macbeth. Also in the Southern Hemisphere, Macbeth was performed back in April, or a version of Macbeth was performed back in April at the Festival Shakespeare Buenos Aires in Argentina. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave me a skull emoji down in the comment section to represent my love of Hamlet and Alas Poor Yorick. Just a quick reminder that down in the description box will be a list of all of the supplies that I have used, as well as any affiliate links, and I will go ahead and put a list of Shakespeare festivals or resources where you can find Shakespeare festivals near you down in that description box as well. If you liked it, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe if you have not already. And here are our other weekly plays. For week 33, I chose The Twelfth Night, which is being performed at the Cambridge Shakespeare Festival, which takes place over July and August. Week 34 is Othello, which is being performed at the York International Shakespeare Festival, but this one takes place only every 2 years, so this will be held in October of 2022. For week 35, I chose Henry V, which was performed back in April by the Japan Shakespeare Festival, which is presented by the Shakespeare Society of Japan and the English Literary Society of Japan. From whenever and wherever you're watching, I hope you enjoyed this birthday month jaunt into the world of Shakespeare festivals. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Here are a couple more videos I think you might enjoy.